I was talking with Katie last week, and she was telling me a story about how she reads a lot of books, novels, romanticises, I guess is what they're called. And she was telling me about these podcasters, these two girls that started in their basement talking about all these romanticy novels and had built up a following and had eventually gotten so popular that they were getting the authors of all these books on their podcasts. And I was like, oh, that's like really sweet. Like, you think like Hoy and I can do that? Like, that's obviously why you're telling this story. And she's like, no, I was just trying to talk to you about my interests. And I said, ooh, oh, my bad. So that I think that's a good representation of the disgruntled losers. So welcome everybody to the show. Hoy, how are you doing over there?
I'm doing good. And just to get back to that, you're talking about like smut stuff, right?
Oh my God, that is the word I use. Did I tell you that? Did you get that from me?
Oh no,
Like I use that word.
smut is just big now. I mean, like I feel like all
It's
the
oh
wives
my
are reading
God.
it. It's just a big category. So I mean, I know where you're at.
I
I
couldn't
think
believe it. I
all
was
my
like,
cousins' wives and my wife all read something along those lines. So like, I know what you're talking
oh,
about. But that is an hilarious story because I'm just like, I probably would think the same thing. Like, oh, yo, you think we could do that? That's
we
crazy.
just started. Like, yeah, we're on episode 4 right now.
I mean,
Like obviously this
let
is
us get like 10 episodes under our belt before you start, complimenting us like that.
so
That's wild.
welcome to the Disgruntled Losers, episode 4. Post Super Bowl, post NBA trade deadline. I do want to start with mistakes from last week. I do like just hitting that from the very top. Is there anything looking back at the episode last week that you're like, ooh, maybe I want that one back?
Oh, and Josh, you can add something in for us. We'll make this a recurring segment at this point.
Okay, is this gonna be one? So it's the messed up again?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. We'll come up with a name for it. But no, I definitely got some feedback on maybe just doing some research. Like I know we're two
Oh, wait,
dads.
that's part of it?
We don't have much time, and in particular, I think even in regards to Catherine O'Hara, we talked about her passing last week, and I was going through like all her filmography, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm an idiot. I watched this, I watched this, I watched this. She was in all of these, everything from Wild Robot, Last of Us, Beetlejuice. I freaking love Beetlejuice. And she did a lot of voice acting too, like Over the Hedge, Brother Bear, Elemental, and I'm a big Wild Robot fan. So yeah, just wanted to.
So you just threw two in there. Yeah, I knew you were the big Wild Robot fan. Elemental, timeout. We literally just watched that today. What is she the water mom? I'm
Yes,
just
yes,
guessing. What?
yes, the mom.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Dang, I didn't know that. That's a good one.
yeah. So
Ooh, big miss.
yeah, so maybe we'll put a smidge of research in here and there when we have time, but
All right.
missed
So I guess
opportunities.
that's a pretty good. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, that's a good one there. So as I was saying off the top, this is the post Super Bowl episode. You're gonna see my eyes peek up at the screen here every now and then. I think they're giving the MVP away right now, and as we were just saying, it's got to go to Kenneth, right?
Gotta,
It's
it's
got to.
gotta. I mean, you put up close to 100 yards just in the first half, and I mean, you're like, uh, honestly, first half both offenses clearly struggled, but I mean, K-Walk kept them alive and was at least getting them to field goal range every single time. So
Yeah, I mean, he was good. I mean, just watching the game, like the runs he was making, just the cuts he was making, the patience he was running with. Um, Collinsworth was all over it. He made a Le'Veon Bell comparison, and
I
that
heard
one
that
was
towards
just
the end.
sitting there the whole time. Yeah, and that one was just sitting there the whole time because it's that. Whenever you see somebody run that patient, I know there probably were guys in the past that ran like that, but that you think Le'Veon right away. And I'm pretty sure Walker's getting the MVP right now. I got it on mute, obviously, but it would make sense. They're talking with Darnold, which obviously you got to give Darnold his moment here, which this is a wild moment for him in his career, obviously.
Mhm.
Man, is he gonna get it?
Oh
Now
no,
I gotta
there's
look
no
this
there's
up.
no shot. There's no shot. No, and honestly, like their defense played so phenomenal, but like they're just not going to give it to like one defensive player unless it's like a ridiculous separation from the rest of the team. So it just sucks that it's a little overlooked. But Yeah, I mean, K-Walk did deserve it, or I think he does deserve it. So I don't know that, but
Yeah.
what a game though! What a game!
Yeah, so final score Seattle 29, New England 13, and those 13 points for New England, they were unimpressive 13. I guess the first touchdown of Mac Hollins was fine, and then the second one they kind of were just playing a little bit of a soft defense, and New England was able to get one. But that was just dominated. I guess you kind of had it last week, right? If we were, if I was going to do my mistakes from last week, which I guess I missed, I missed this game. I think I liked Drake May in this game, and I don't want to just kill Drake May, but he was horrible. He was real bad. He's young and he looked a little. The moment looked a little big for him, which is too bad. Which was too bad to see.
Yeah, and honestly, like I don't know, I not gonna lie, I got back into Madden, so like I'm playing some games here, and I feel like I can read some D, and I'm looking at some of the you know times he's like scrambling, and he's just missing wide open like inside slot mans, like just right through the middle. Uh, I'm, I mean,
He,
you would think
yeah.
he could get there, right? But I don't know. It's just the Seahawks defense is, they were blitzing all game. They're rushing them and getting some good pressure in. But I don't know. I was just looking at some of these wide open plays, and I'm like, you're in the Super Bowl. You got to make these throws. You want to get in that elite conversation. You got to make these throws.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, that was really it. It wasn't anything more than like he missed the throws. Like it wasn't like,
Hmm.
and the defense was tough. But yeah, I mean, and Collinsworth was kind of all over it, singling out like two or three of the throws that he missed. That could have been kind of game changers a little bit. But even if he hits those, I don't know. Seattle's probably got this one. You talked about the defense. You talk about one guy in particular, Witherspoon, Devin Witherspoon, cornerback. They blitz him a lot. He might be the guy. I know they singled out Dexter Lawrence a lot too, and he was
The
really good as
sexy
well.
Dexy.
Yeah, and it's funny too. When you think of a defensive end in the NFL, it looks like him. Like it's like him, Clowney, like some version of that, like 6'6", big shoulders that let like go like a school bus. Yeah, no, he looks the part for sure. Yeah, I mean they're good. That defense is really good. They
Yes.
did a good job assembling that.
And it
It's
sucks
just
because like
crazy.
the New England defense didn't play bad necessarily. It just got out of hand, with the score. They had to take more chances. But like, I mean, Gonzalez, if he gets those two picks, I think he also almost had a third one. Like if he gets those, that could change the game. You know what I'm saying? So like, it just sucks. A couple things didn't go in their favor, and it. I mean, what was that halftime score? Like 9-0? Was it 12-0 or 9-0?
12. I think they
12-0.
got
They hit that
12.
last
Yeah,
field
it was
goal, right?
12. Oh no, it
Yeah.
didn't. No, they didn't. Yeah, it was 9. You're right. Yeah, that was the third quarter. They got 12-0.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I mean, at that point, if it just stays on that pace, then like I mean, the kicker wins the MVP at that point. I don't know.
No, so funny you say that. Was out last night and talking with some guys, and the one guy was telling me pretty much that a game like this was going to happen, and that he had $10 on the kicker winning Super Bowl MVP. And I was ripping him pretty hard. I'm like, well, you're just going to burn $10. Like that's just a stupid bet. Like why do people make stupid bets? Like that's why these gambling companies make so much money is because people like you make these stupid bets. And sure as that, I obviously sent a text when he hit his fourth field goal and it was 12-0. Like I'm on the text I sent him was you should cash out because obviously this isn't going to happen and the odds aren't going to get any better. So if whatever site you place that bet on, if they let you cash it out.
Hey, I got my hot takes, but hey, sometimes the hot takes are right because just nitpicking at some of the crazier things out there. But honestly, though, yeah, I mean, at that point, four kicks in, and the Seahawks have no reason to like do anything crazy, so they just kind of let New England, kind of fall and crumble, right? They threw a couple picks, and just
Yeah.
that's how the
Well, I
cookie
mean,
crumbles.
yeah, right. There was one, I think it was a 4th and 1 in like the third quarter when it was 12-0. I think it
Hmm.
was third quarter sometime that I wanted Vrabel to go for it, but he was kind of thinking like you, where the defense was still playing well. At that point, it was 12-0, and he punted, and they pinned him, whatever, inside the 10, and they might have got, I'm not even sure what the exact result of it was, if they immediately got the ball back and scored or what it was. But at that point, I was like, you got to go for it. We're in the third quarter, it's 12. If you haven't scored a point and we're in the third quarter of the Super Bowl, like, I say that, and then we got into the fourth quarter, and then Drake May made a couple ridiculously bad throws and just kind of tossed up a couple Hail Mary backyard football balls to I don't know who he was throwing to a couple of those too. I think one of them, the bad interception, his arm might have got hit. It was hard to tell on the replay, but I'm sitting here saying they should have took chances, and then Drake took a chance, and I'm going to sit here and say those were terrible chances. So I mean, I think all that means that Seattle was probably meant to win this game, and Seattle was the better team today.
Oh, and I don't disagree with you because I mean, like the people I was watching with, I was shouting. I was like, I think we're talking about the same exact punt. I'm like, go for it, man. Like you guys have to
Yeah,
switch
it's
something
gotta be.
up because something's clearly not working. You got to put some points up. And honestly, I think it's on the coach. Like you can't even put all of this on Drake because like he had to take chances as a quarterback. So whatever happens,
Oh,
happens. But
sure.
like at a certain point, the coach has to step in and be like, hey, I got this trick play. I want to do this option play. We got to, do something, or let the quarterback even take the reins a little bit if you don't know what you're doing, Mike. You know what I'm saying? If Vrabel don't know what he's doing, just pull a Peyton, call a couple, you know, Idahos in here, and then make something work. I don't know.
Josh McDaniels, I mean, he's known for being creative. I'm not sure if he's known for necessarily the trick play, but I think the trick play has kind of been more of a recent thing. But either way, yeah, it was ugly offense, and it's been ugly offense for the Patriots. They've got by on good defense and maybe a smidge of luck, and then here we were in a rough Super Bowl performance. But it's all right. They got enough of them. Probably looking back at it, let's give this one to Seattle and
Yeah.
let's move forward. And
Hey,
I'm not sure if we'll see this Patriots team back or not.
do we know who the MVP ended up being?
I
End
gotta
up as
look this
Kenneth?
up. Josh, real quick. We'll have Josh get it to us here
Okay.
as we move forward quickly
But
here.
we can't talk about the Super Bowl without talking about one. Let's get into the halftime performance. I'd love to hear your
Sure.
take on that. Um,
Yeah. You want to just hit that? Okay, let's just hit that.
let's get
So
into it.
so the show itself is great. And I don't want to, I I was obviously watching it and I didn't turn it off, so I don't want to say anything like that. But yeah, it was in Spanish and that was tough. Like it just was. So
Mm.
like I liked it and visually it was awesome, but it was in Spanish, so it was a little tough for that. Like I wouldn't necessarily say it was my favorite halftime show ever. Um, but it probably was maybe produced. Well, I guess Kendrick's last year was produced pretty well too. That's what my wife and I were kind of talking as we were watching the game. Like there have been some well-produced halftime shows, so we got to be careful saying it's like the best produced halftime show ever, but it was visually very pleasing.
Mm.
And yeah, really the only thing was I don't know. And I'm not necessarily the biggest Bad Bunny fan in the world, and like I knew a few of the songs, and even if it was in English, I'm not sure if I would have known every song anyway. So that's not I don't know.
Yeah,
So what do you think about it?
I mean that was my big thing. Like it was just like the whole time I felt like there was some message being said, but it was just really tough because we just don't understand Spanish. You know what I mean? Like we don't speak. We're not native Spanish speakers, so it's just not to say like the music was bad or anything, but it was just like we just didn't know. So if there was
And
a
it's funny.
message, I missed it.
No, but it's funny. So Josh is gonna get this post. There was one point where they had the message up on the big board behind Bad Bunny as he was walking out. I think it was like at the very end. It was basically like love and peace. Love's more powerful than hate or something like that. But that was the message, I guess. He did have it on the big board in English at the very end.
Well, I'm not gonna lie because I kind of thought something that I think there was a general population that might have thought something similar is how he gave that Grammy to that one kid, right?
So I don't know. I mean, I saw it, yes, but I don't know the
Yeah.
meaning behind
Well,
it.
yeah. So a lot of people thought that that was one of the kids that got taken by ICE, and then
Oh goodness.
it was like a tribute to him or something. And I guess, and this is one thing I was gonna tell you is just like it's crazy how fast the news travels, and it can be so wrong, but then also the news will come out and like try to correct it as well, and it's just like this crazy like chaos of information coming at you, and you have to like decipher through the lines, like figure out what's real and what's not real anymore. Like,
You talking Property Brothers? You missed that one? You missed that one? You missed that one?
which one
We'll
was
move
that
on.
one?
Well, we'll just move on. If some people will get that one.
Okay,
There
I
was
think I missed
there was
that
a
one.
there was a snip of him in the files. I don't think I think it was
Okay,
discarded. I don't know. Well, like I said, I don't know enough. We'll move on.
but
I don't know.
anyways, yeah. So apparently, I saw some social media posts about it too. But apparently that's fake news. It wasn't actually the kid, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's just it's crazy how information travels now and how you gotta like
Yeah,
decipher stuff. So I'm like, even in my research for things, I'm like, oh, where do I go for this, man? I gotta fact check these and not say something too out of pocket.
oh, well, I think if we've learned anything recently, where you get a couple chances, so we'll be all right. Well, we got Josh. That's why we're not going live, so we're fine.
Yeah,
Just cut it, Josh.
yeah.
I can't. There's like 3 segments I thought for sure would have been cut that somehow we've put out there still, but that's all right.
If Josh approves, I approve.
Oh no.
But anyways, let's also touch on the commercials because I mean you can't talk about Super Bowls without commercials
Uh,
as well. Did you have a favorite? Talk to
I
me.
had a possible all-time favorite.
All time.
Second
Okay.
half. Oh no. Yeah, this one. I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but I think this one's true. The tight end commercial with Bruce Arians and Rob Gronkowski, and there were a couple other people in it at the beginning, but those were our main characters. Had a great message at the end too. Men, prostate cancer is
Oh,
a
that
real
one.
thing. We got to get checked. We got to get checked. And so you're watching the commercial and you just see Gronk petting this horse and Gronk's being Gronk and he's being very calm about it, very pristine, and he's petting this beautiful horse and Bruce Arians just been talking and I'm not sure what he's been talking about. And then they go to Gronk's butt and he says, you gotta let the tight end loose. And he's basically just talking about you gotta let your butt loose. And they show the butt getting loose and hey, I don't think you've done it yet. I know I haven't done it yet. It's probably gonna happen in the next 5, 6 years. I think
Are we at
40
the
is
age,
when
by
it's
the
supposed
way,
to happen.
while we're on this?
No, I think it's 40. And somebody,
Okay.
Josh, check it for us again on that one. Josh, are you 40?
All
No,
right.
Josh, and that's so no, we're 0 for 3 here. I think it's 40
So
though.
I got about 15, 16 years before. Okay, so we're good. We're good. We're good.
Kenneth Walker was the MVP. Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
Ah,
Okay, we it
who
is
would have thunk?
official. Well deserved for Kenneth there. All right, did we hit football? Got anything? Oh no, you got to get a commercial in. What do you got?
I'm not gonna lie. There was one that actually really made me laugh, and it was the Ben Stiller Benson Boone one for Instacart.
Yeah, yeah, why not? What'd you see there?
Just what it was just comedic. You know, you could tell. I mean, obviously it's a commercial, so you take it for what it is. But Ben was just being Ben. I love that how he had that competitive edge to him on the stage, and he just climbs up, biffs it, and he like has that little drunk stumble. And actually, I believe the one that they showed on the commercial was actually like a shorter version. Because the full extended version
Oh, usually.
has a couple more seconds to it, and so I rewatched the full extended version afterwards, and yeah, it still gave me a good chuckle. So that was mine for today.
No, that's a good one. I've become more of a Ben Stiller fan. I was a little bit of a fan of his. Obviously, he had a ton of funny movies.
Mm.
But even more so, he's kind of done well for himself as he started becoming a director. I've liked what he's been doing as a director. But yeah, no, that was a good one too. That was a good one. Crappy game over. I mean, I shouldn't say crappy game. Average game. What I mean, yeah,
Honestly, it
could have
sucks to
been.
say that like defensive games aren't as fun to
Yeah.
watch. It sucks because like I
Hmm.
mean, and it kind of hurts my argument because for me like basketball, I wish there was more of a defensive competitive edge. Like right now in terms of NBA, like it's more like it's super offensive heavy, like high scoring games. And I mean, there are some
Yeah.
defensive players, but the team overalls are not playing defensive
Yeah,
anymore.
that's
So,
true.
and I also think it's just like, and this might go into our next topic because I had this comment about the Pro Bowl and All Star game where I mean, I don't blame them for losing viewership because like it's not that fun to watch. Like you want me to watch them play flag football and on top of that they're not even trying. Like it's and then the All-Star game is probably similar. Like you can have these like drafts and honestly the drafts are more exciting than the game itself. Like the last few years when they're doing the drafts, right?
Yeah, there's been some good ones. So the I didn't watch the Pro Bowl this year, so I mean I used to when I was really young, I did like just give me Justin Jefferson versus Jamar Chase, dodgeball or put him in whatever, and I probably would have ate that up as a young kid. Where I'm at now in life, not really for me. The whole Pro Bowl thing, yeah. I mean, I saw the score was, it was what it was. There's really no defense that can be played because nobody wants to get hurt. So Yeah, the Pro Bowl, and I don't even know what you do. They did try to like align it with the Super Bowl. What was it? Tuesday night of this week or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch any of it?
No,
I
I mean I
watched like a
watched the
couple of
highlights
replays.
and stuff, and like
Yeah.
and it just sucks because I did watch it last year, and I'm trying to stay entertained, but it's just they're taking away so much from the game, and it also sucks because I don't know at this point if it's the league or the players, right? I also feel like there's a lack of like competitive edge and just pride to like show off your skill now, right? Like,
Yeah,
um,
100%.
and it kind of sucks. It's like you can definitely say that for NBA football. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of like injuries when tackles happen and stuff. So I mean, I kind of get a little bit more precaution on that side. But even then, like you could do like how they did back in the 2000s, where they're actually gearing up, they're throwing it up, and they're like trying to make some fun catches. Like just don't have to like
Yeah.
do any Ryan Clark type tackles, Brian Dawkins type tackles, right? Just be just chill out a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know how to fix it per se, but it's just they can't keep doing this because I think they're down from like oh, like what is it since 2000.
Oh, come on, viewership numbers?
I
Oh,
mean,
it's got to be just exponentially
yeah,
going
it's
down.
not
Yeah, we
good.
got to be losing.
I want to say they were in like the 10 millions, 10 to 12 millions back in the 2000s, and they're probably down to like 1 to 4 million at this point. So you're losing almost a third of your viewership, maybe even more than that, or two-thirds of your
Well,
viewership.
and it used to be the Sunday after the Super Bowl, so or maybe even 2 weeks after. I forget how they did it. It
Hmm.
was, and so for some reason that worked because like football was over and it was like the last like little ditch effort of like a little bit of football in your life before spring was coming and there wasn't going to be any football anymore. And then they switched it to like that week between the Super Bowl and the conference championships, and that really didn't work too well either. I don't really have a fix for the NFL. The NBA, I'm not really a huge fan of what they're doing this year either. Do you know the details of that one?
Oh.
I can lay it out a little bit if you need me to.
No, I mean, like, yeah, I'm following. So, I mean, but I'll let you kind of go over it.
Well, you got so first of all, they're gonna vote you in for 12 players on the East, 12 players on the West. So that's how we're starting, as it's always been. And then from there, they're actually gonna break it into the three teams, and you have two teams built of players
U.S.
from
and
the
then
United States, and then yeah, you have a world team essentially, which they're trying to like mimic this hockey thing, which hockey players are their own breed, and you really shouldn't ever try to like mimic what they're doing. Because like exactly what you said about pride, like hockey players legitimately just play for pride, and that's what hockey like fans are always telling other fans. It's like I don't understand why you guys watch these sports that don't care all the time. Like, you know what sport cares all the time? Hockey, right here in front of y'all. And,
mhm.
stadiums across your country. Um, and so, yeah, that one's always made me laugh a little bit. That they're probably right about a lot of that. And so, yeah, the four nations for hockey was huge, and so that's why basketball was like, well, how do we do this? And the Olympics for basketball was huge. And international basketball is only going to get bigger because the United States stronghold on the Olympics and the World Cup is going to go away with all these. I don't think when we lace it up at the next World Cup or Olympics, whatever it is, I don't think the United States will have a top five guy in the world at that point. Unless Anthony Edwards or somebody like that really steps up. But I mean, like between Victor and Luca and Giannis and Jokic and Shea's Canadian, there's five right there. I don't think, I think that's pretty straightforward unless Tatum gets healthy that the United States doesn't have one in there. Anyways, all that to be said, I get why they tried it. International versus US, they just keep trying to complicate it, and I don't think the way to get people to watch it is to overcomplicate it. The one thing I wanted to hit on the NBA All-Star game, which I've always thought was crazy, is do you know how much it costs to go to one of those games? Have you ever looked? You ever tried?
Not
Well,
ballpark it at like 500
5,000.
to
It
just
is
go to the game.
unbelievable. I think if you want to get in, you might be able to get in for like 2,500 to 3 grand. I think it's the most like outside of the Super Bowl, but I think it's the second most expensive ticket of the year. And it doesn't make any sense, but it's
Like
always
you're
been like
talking
that.
like even to get into nosebleeds, like
To
you're
get
dropping a rack.
in, two, maybe three.
It's insane.
This is factual.
I
Because I've looked a couple times because it was in I think when Little Caesars was brand new, they brought it around and it was like, oh, let's try to go, whatever, 500, like you said, like even that's ridiculous. But that's a ridiculous that maybe you could swallow. This is a ridiculous that you can't even swallow. I don't understand, and it's not even a good game.
and I just don't get like how so many people nowadays can afford to go to concerts and like games and especially like the
Oh my
Super Bowl and
gosh.
like these things now because like they're all just like you can't go to a concert without paying $300 now, right? Like if it's a big namer, and even like the lower tier, probably B tiers, C tier artists, you're still paying like $100, $200. Like it's like what are we doing?
Oh no, I mean easy. Yeah, no, there's no cheap concert anymore. Like even like obviously like yeah, I mean we just bought Morgan Wallen tickets and those are I mean yeah, a couple $100. Yeah, per ticket. Yeah, and that's I mean and it's got to be local. I mean yeah, it's just
But yeah,
crazy,
two
crazy, crazy,
thousand
crazy.
for the All Star game is crazy,
For the All-Star game,
especially for what you're getting though. Like
I
put
know.
up Super Bowl type games for me, and then or I need it to be competitive to somewhat degree, man. If I'm putting that kind of money in, that 2,000 better cover the whole weekend too. I better get the dunk contest and the 3-point contest and everything with it.
I don't know if it does, to be honest. It might. I didn't look that up. I don't think so though.
It
I
probably
think I
doesn't,
was just
but
talking. I think I'm just talking Sunday.
which is
Just the game
crazy.
itself. I think Saturday night's probably a little bit cheaper, but I think I'd rather go to Saturday night. Saturday would be fun, probably.
Yeah,
What you get there, it's probably like a 2, 3 hour event, a little bit shorter. Yeah, no, that'd be fun. Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, but that's what I was thinking when it was in Detroit, and then you look up the prices and you can't go. It's unbelievable. And I don't have a fix to any of it. The NBA, at least, like I just said, Saturday night, they tweak it a little bit. The dunk contest isn't perfect, but it's fun. At least the 3-point contest is always, it's what is what it is. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. They got the celebrity stuff going on. The NBA's got something. The Saturday product is good. The game itself the next day is horrible, and I
I mean,
don't have a
good's a
fix for
stretch,
it.
but
But
it is better for sure. I don't know. For
that's
me,
fair. That's
what I
fair.
need is like some of the better stars to care. Like if Vince wasn't in or a dunk contest, can you imagine what that like world would NBA like history would look like? It would be crazy, Him, Michael, everyone big name that could dunk could do it or like did do it. So it's like, why are these kids not wanting to do it? And part of me, I agree with Kevin Garnett. He said this: LeBron ruined the NBA All Star Weekend. LeBron ruined it.
Oh my
I,
goodness.
I heard
I
that take. I'm 100% on board. When Kobe sized him up in the middle of that All Star game, and he just passed the rock and didn't like put up a shot or anything, drive it, do anything. He just passed the ball, and that was the end of that. And Kobe literally like shrugged it off and was like, this is the end." Kobe knew, I think, at that point this was the end of the All Star Weekend.
So right when you were talking about the dunk contest, the first thing that comes to my mind is obviously that LeBron didn't do it. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, well, I think he's gonna say that LeBron ruined the dunk contest, and then you just took it one step farther. No, LeBron just ruined All-Star
The
Weekend
entire
all
thing.
overall, just overall. Because I was gonna give you a slight nod, like the dunk contest, the fact that LeBron never did the dunk contest, it doesn't make sense because he is a little bit of like a historian, and I guess I don't get not wanting that little trophy on your, in that little feather in your cap. Like he could have won it. Like it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Easily.
All those, yeah, when he was with those Cavs, like his first couple years, like yeah, I'm pretty sure he was, that was his whole thing at the beginning of his career. He was always healthy. So
Hmm.
it doesn't make too much sense why he did that. Didn't do it. So, and yeah, like why has Ant Edwards not done one? Why has Donovan Mitchell did a couple? So let's give Donovan a tip of the cap.
Yep.
He's a stud that did a couple, or at least one. Yeah, I'm just thinking of guy like okay, so let's just do this real quick off the top of our heads. Like, who would you want to see? Like, who are we not getting? Like, did so Ja never did one, right? Ja, I know we don't want to see Ja now,
I,
but like when
I
he was
don't
young,
think
I
Ja's
don't think
done
he did
it.
one. I don't
Right
think he did
now,
one.
person I'm actually a big fan of, VJ Edgecombe. Super big
Oh,
fan.
sure.
I would love to see
And
him.
he didn't say yes because I'm sure they asked him because he's a star.
Yeah, I don't think he's
And
on the
he's
list
not.
yet. I don't know if it's fully
Well,
announced yet though, so maybe there's a chance. I don't know. Is it fully
no,
announced?
they extended an invite to Jalen Duren, so I know at that point that
Okay.
that like I don't want to Jalen buddy, if you're for some reason listening, love you, but I'm sure he was like 30th or 40th on like no joke. Like oh well, I guess he's an all-star, so I guess you go through the guys that like you would want to see that maybe aren't all-stars, but you could convince them to come to
Hmm.
Saturday night. And then you probably do just like, hey, all-stars, anybody want to do it? You know what I mean? Just kind of
Hmm.
toss it out to the 24 guys that are already going to be there. Um, okay, how about this? Do you want to see Matt McClung do it again? He's won it 3 times. Do you care that he's not doing? Do you even want to see him again?
If he's got something more up his sleeve, then maybe. But it is always cool to like to have someone actually dethrone than to like just not compete. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I mean, because he's not even in the league right now, right? He's in the G League.
No, no, yeah, he's I think somebody, yeah,
Because he keeps
somebody
getting
just
rostered
gave
and
him a
dropped and
two-way.
rostered and dropped on into the G League. But
He's got a two-way right now, I think.
yeah, uh, I don't know. I mean, there's clearly better athletes out there. So if we can get them, I'm all for just him chilling with his three. But
I forgot we got to shout out Michigan State guy Jace Richardson is the one that's replacing Jalen Duren.
oh, is he really?
Just purely and it's funny too. We're just getting done saying nobody wants to do this, but then you got to call it a little nepotism on this one. I mean, he's obviously getting in because his dad's like one of the greatest dunk contest participants of all time. Um, I watched Jace Richardson play all through college. Have watched him do well in the NBA right now. Actually, shout out Jace is doing well for the Magic right now. He's actually getting a few minutes. Um, I don't know. I wouldn't have guessed.
You know he's gonna pull out his dad's jersey, so we can already expect that.
Oh man. We're not going to talk college basketball right now, but I was at Michigan State, Illinois last night, and I saw two of the craziest dunks I've ever seen in my life. If anybody is watching and saw the half-court alley-oop that Cohen Carr caught backwards and did a little reverse dunk with that one, that was out of control. And then Cam Ward had another one that was out of control. Either way, small segue. I don't even know if anybody in the dunk contest is going to have a better dunk than those two I saw last night. And Cohen Carr is unbelievable, but.
Let's get him in when they're in the league.
Yeah, we might as well. Um, so what you got? I mean, NBA All-Stars coming up. They announced, so we got all the teams, we got all the participants. What we got coming up in like a week or two. Um, not much. I don't got much to report on that.
Yeah, I mean if what I saw for the 3-point lineup, I mean that seems kind of cool.
Always,
Yeah, gotta
guys
get
show up for that one.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, always gotta love it when my boy Khan's in there. Khan's having a stellar year, so hopefully Khan Knipple
Oh,
does
you're a
does
Knipple
some crazy.
fan.
I like him. I like him. I like what he's kind of a
Knipple
dog.
fan.
I like the matchup he had against Cooper Flag too. They kind of went neck and neck. I mean, yeah,
Oh yeah, brother.
he's just ruthless out there. And I think he's on pace to like set the most threes made as a rookie right
No, no,
now.
you're
Yeah,
yeah,
so
you're dead on. Yeah, no, you're dead on. Yeah,
hey,
no, I agree with everything you're saying.
let's
He's
see
a
what he's
stud.
got out there.
He's everything you want in a 2-3 guard. Defensively, shoots it. Like you're saying, attitude wise, gets after it. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And
I'm a
honestly, I don't know if my
Knipple fan as
report's
well.
correct, but I think I heard Dame is also in it.
No, you're 100%
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So
Dame is in it. He is.
he's just coming off the couch and he's just like, yo,
Yeah,
I'm gonna put up some threes. All right, cool.
yeah. No,
I'm a
I
fan.
mean,
I'm
you
a
just
fan.
gotta. It's a brisk walk between racks. You know. I don't know if they're gonna wheel him around or not. But yeah, no, I think he'll be all right. It'd be funny if he wins
You
it.
think he could make it interesting on a wheelchair?
I
How
mean,
many
he
threes
could.
you think he's making on a wheelchair? You
Oh
going
my
15?
gosh, I would like it would be hilarious if they did a little WWE and like played it up a little bit and they brought him in on a wheelchair,
That would be
and like had it
hilarious.
wrapped up or something. And so I'm assuming that he's in like a part of the rehab process where like shooting's not a big deal. I
Yeah,
haven't
I'm
done
sure
any
he's walking
like
around or something
research.
at this point,
That's
but
what I mean. Like he's well off because it was a playoff injury
mhm.
or 2 years. So yeah. So he's coming up on a year or
Mm.
close to it. Yes, that would make sense because Tatum's trying to flip and play right now. So that would make sense that he can at least do
Yeah,
that.
people are recovering like crazy right now, but also I saw Bobby Portis, I think, was on the list.
No, you're
Was that
right.
news
Yeah,
correct?
so
All
no,
right.
that's right. Thank you,
What's your
Josh.
thought
I
on
know
that?
Josh is feeding this.
What's your thought on
So
that?
I guess so. That's what I mean. They got to be on like guy like no joke like 35 or 40, like maybe even like lower on the list of guys that have said no. Bobby, I don't, is he a star? I don't know. I think of just the big eyes with Bobby. I think of the headband and the big eyes, and he can shoot from the corner, and like he's been good for the Bucks, and but I mean, it's just it's hilarious. I don't
Uh,
think of him as a dunker, if that's what you're getting at.
yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, I don't know what his 3-point percentage looks like, so I'll have to take a look at that. But I can't imagine it being around any of those other guys. So,
Well,
but
yeah, that's probably.
yeah. Also, I mean, obviously we're gonna watch the All Star Weekend stuff, but not as excited as I used to be. So,
We got Cade, and I think Duran. I'm sure Duran will play. I know he's a little bit injured right now, but I think he's gonna play. So we got a couple. Oh, and Barry and Lee, we got Coach too. We got JB. We got.
oh,
We're well represented. Detroit's well
okay.
represented. Oh yeah.
Ye-
JB's coach of the East. I mean, shoot, it's the so the All-Star game coaches are the best teams in the conference at a certain date, and I think whatever. I think we're at that date now. Um,
Yeah,
it,
first seed,
and,
baby.
and then yeah, and then if you did it last year, you can't do it 2 years in a row. So. It's not Dagnall in Oklahoma City. It's I think it's San Antonio's Mitch Mitt. I'd have to look that up. But yeah, whoever replaced Popovich, probably should start learning his name. I'm sure he's going to start getting some recognition. This Spurs team is pretty dang good. Was a little surprised. Let's get into a little bit of trade deadline. That would have been for me. That was always one of the Giannis teams. I know we were joking last week. You had some Warriors fans that thought Giannis might make his way out there, and I was kind of saying that's probably not going to happen unless he strong arms his way out there. It always made sense. Like San Antonio has the assets to make a good offer for Giannis, and just the idea of Victor Wembanyama and Giannis next to each other is like just makes a heck of a lot of sense. I know age-wise they're probably like 12 years apart. But Victor seems ready to win right now, and with a guy that size, I know he is pretty nimble and looks like maybe he's more built like Kevin Durant, where this might go just fine and we might get a good career out of Victor. But I don't know. It's risky. Anybody that big's risky. So if I was San Antonio, I would. I'm not saying I would push the gas pedal all the way, but I would have sniffed around Giannis a little bit.
But at that point, I don't
But
know. I don't know who you're giving up because I mean, yeah, you value players like Stephon Castle too much, Devin Vassell, and some of these
yeah,
guys who can get a triple double for you, right? Like even with Victor on the court. So it's like how you're not giving up any of them. So how are you going to get Giannis without giving that up, right? And I think they like their flow right now. That's actually one of the teams I'm impressed with in the NBA right now because they scrap, right? Like if the Pistons scrap, they also scrap. Like they know how to
you're right.
play. And if anything, Victor might be the softest on that team, which is the scary part, right? Like he's the one that's quiet and he yells and shouts every once in a while, but no one knows what he's saying, right? So it's just like
You're dead out. You're dead on with this. I don't want to say they protect him, but they kind of just let him do it. You're right. They like he is not the enforcer. Like the dream would be like a Draymond or a Ben Wallace next to him. That he likes to do exactly what you're doing. He's a skilled player as much as he's big and he plays in the post a little bit. He likes to play with skill. He's a smooth Frenchman. He's got a little skill to his game. He's hitting those when he hits a step back three. I mean, the announcers that are watching, it's just like, what do you do? Like that's usually the response. It's like there is nothing you can do when Victor Wembanyama is hitting step back threes. So to your point, yes, no, the a Castle off limits and the other guard Harper is off limits. So the one name that we haven't brought up is Fox has been dang good for them. And that was somebody who, if you're somebody who's just sitting back on your NBA trade machine, just cooking up trades, you're probably putting Fox in a lot of those trades. And to your point, that's probably why they didn't make a Giannis offer is because they didn't want to trade Fox because Fox is cooking. Fox is every part, he's part of the reason they're winning. Like Giannis is obviously the main part of the reason they're winning, but Fox is helping the cause for sure, along with Castle and bringing Harper off the bench and the rest of the guys. Yeah, I like that team. I think I'm gonna go when they come to Detroit. Like, you're looking at the schedule of teams to watch, like in the NBA, like when they come to town. I think Spurs are number one. The only other thing would be if this is LeBron's retirement year, maybe the Lakers are number one, but Spurs are probably number one.
I'd rather watch the Hornets at this point over the Lakers, but
Oh man,
might be a
it's
hot take.
LeBron's.
That might be a hot take.
If it's actually his retirement year, that's not true. If this is actually it, I would just
I mean,
out
he'll
of
probably play the first quarter and sit the rest of the game anyway. So
that's fine, that's fine. I'll just give him one of those and we'll be good. Okay, but Pistons Warriors. So I mean Warriors got Porzingis.
Pingus Pingus.
I actually, yeah, I'm gonna toss it to you here, but I don't hate Porzingis. I know he doesn't play. They didn't give up too much to get him. But they say he's healthy, I guess.
See,
What
my
do you think?
biggest problem with it is okay. Buddy Hield isn't like the craziest. He's replaceable, right? He is
So that's who
replaceable,
they gave up though. But that's who they gave up. Sorry, I buried the lead.
but
Buddy Hield was in the trade.
he is a good locker room guy, and I think he's kind of what made it fun in the locker room. Draymond's getting old. I'm sure he used to be kind of that guy that could rally everybody, but right now I think it was Buddy Hield and Jimmy, like their duo, kind of kept that going. And I don't know, like I don't know if Porzingis helps that much in any way. I'm a little just whatever about it. I think your team just doesn't change. You're kind of in the same seed situation that you are. You're kind of going to win the same amount of games, and I don't know, unless Porzingis just grew a third arm that's like 10 feet tall and he could just like dunk from anywhere. I don't know. It's like because he's also injury prone. That's the other thing you got to consider. You brought in another guy that could get hurt. Not the
I
happiest
would
with it.
say, yeah, I would say if you put this team together on 2K, it might work. Draymond and Porzingis, that might work. Porzingis is kind of the rover a little bit, and Draymond's obviously playing the man-to-man on the number one post player or whatever it is. And then you still aren't protecting Curry very well. Curry's pretty vulnerable defensively. But offensively, it makes a little sense. The problem, you got to give them credit for just it's I guess it's kind of like the Bucks too, where they're just trying to allow these aging superstars to like compete a little bit, and there's only so much you can do. Like there's only so much Golden State can do, there's only so much Milwaukee can do. They have these guys, Golden State's probably got a little more, they got to look out for Steph a little more, just because that, I mean, 4 championships is unbelievable. Like that doesn't happen ever, and like it might not happen like again ever, a guy winning 4 in the same city, like that's unbelievable. So you probably let Steph, and Steph doesn't even demand anything either. So I don't know what you do, Mike Dunleavy. I'm sorry, man. Like you got a tough job. Like that's tough living out there, I guess, in San Francisco as the GM of the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you've done well for so long, I think people just have high expectations of you. To keep just bringing good players in and keep competing. But I still don't know if Porzingis was the move. I guess only time will tell. Um, it just sucks 'cause it's like Jimmy's injury prone. Who knows how many games Dre even plays in a given year? Between ejections and suspensions and health. And then Porzingis too. I don't know. It's just a tough team to form really anything around. So it's either, I mean, because Jimmy's already out for the rest of the season, right? So it's not like
Yeah, he's
you're
done.
you're,
Yep.
you're not shooting for this year at this point. So you're hoping for next year, right? Or I mean, maybe Porzingis became a trade asset somehow. I don't know, but yeah,
No, I
that's my
I
thoughts
do
on it.
think I do think sadly Porzingis was an attempt at winning a playoff series or two this year, and if for some reason Steph, I don't know, you just wanted to score 60 points a game or something crazy. I mean, it's not gonna happen. It's not. We don't even have to
Yeah,
waste time talking about it. It's just not gonna happen. There's so many good teams in the West, that it's not gonna happen. But the East, my friend, where we have the Detroit Pistons, is another story. Um, just the East the state of the East in general post trade deadline. A couple teams got better. Well, actually, that's not true. I think there was only one team that is currently projected to make the playoffs that traded a first round pick, and that was the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I guess the rich get richer. So no, there really wasn't a lot of good teams that got better. Jaren Jackson Jr. went to Utah. I thought it was a good trade, but doesn't really affect the playoff picture this year.
yeah. Give it like a B.
Anthony, well, maybe even a B plus, but it doesn't affect anything this year. Um, Fun one. I'll get your 30 seconds here. Anthony Davis goes to the Wizards, and Trae Young also goes to the Wizards. One of the bigger trades, but doesn't affect the playoff picture this year. But I would say I don't hate what the Wizards have done. What do you think?
I think they
Trey
made a
Young, Anthony
brilliant
Davis?
play. I mean,
Yeah, right?
obviously you're just chilling this year, and you're likely just gonna let all your young guys play because who they got? Keyshawn George, who's a stud. They
Mm-hmm.
got
Mm-hmm.
Trey Johnson, he's a stud. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, if they could get a good pick in here, like you got and Alex Sarr also, who's on my fantasy, he puts up good numbers constantly. So it's
He's
like
good.
you put that them three with Anthony Davis, and then you get Trey in there, and then you even get a good draft pick. Like, hey, you got maybe a tough squad next year. I don't know.
No, you nailed every asset like that. You just named every player like that. Oh, Bao Coulibaly was the only one. Like so that's
Yep,
literally the
yep.
whole. That's the kit in the caboodle. That's what Washington's got. And then yeah, you add Debansa, Boozer, Peterson, Caleb Williams, the North Carolina kid. Yeah, you got something there in Washington for
Yeah,
sure.
I don't
So
know.
so yeah,
And I would
why
have
not?
attempted that kid's name, but I still don't know how to say it even after you said it. So like I'm not gonna shoot for
What
it.
Devansa?
Yeah. Oh no, no,
Is that the
the
one? The BYU kid? Oh, Coulibaly.
Kulabala. Is that how
Bao
you say it?
Coulibaly. Yeah. So I'm cheating on that one too. It's Bao. I'm ruining the first name too. Coulibaly is the last name.
Okay.
And
I
he
always say
came up.
Kalabi, so I just kind of left it there. I'm gonna let that one be.
He was coming up with Victor, so I've practiced that name a lot because
Mm,
Wembanyama's been a thing for a while, and so we've been obviously that's another one where Antetokounmpo, Wembanyama, you start to
mm.
learn some of these ones. I'm not sure if Koulibaly is going to be one that everybody will know or not, but he, whatever, 20,
Yeah.
21 years old, long wing, got potential,
Hey, if the
for sure
Wizards,
on that team.
can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, everyone on that team's, gonna be a
Oh
household
my
name.
gosh.
So
Whew, I mean, that would be a crazy. I mean, because you're talking like possibly next year or the year after that, while Anthony Davis is still a thing. And
yeah,
I mean, Trey Young's,
you're kind of
yeah.
hoping next year, right? Like as that team, you're hoping this offseason you get everyone healthy and you can make a run, but in the following
I
year.
mean,
So
it's one of those things, and that you kind of have two windows, and I know, going back to Golden State, that's probably they don't like hearing the two window thing or the two timeline thing, but when they were trying to build up their young guys and keep their veterans, it's kind of similar to that. I'm not sure if it always works, but it's at least worth trying for a year or two, and then those are assets where. Anthony Davis, you get him into the last year of his contract, and then you can trade him. They're going to have to pay him a lot of money over the next couple of years, but heck, you know what? It's hard to get guys to go to Washington. There's not a lot of tradition there. It's been tough living in the Wizards land lately. So yeah, I mean they had a little something with John Wall and Beal for those couple of years, but I mean it's been rough out there.
yeah. So I guess we'll see next year though.
Yeah. So I mean it's just funny. I mean, we just spent a couple minutes talking about the Wizards and never, it's February 8th. That's people usually aren't talking Wizards February 8th right now. So I mean it's just something. I mean that's just good vibes.
Hey, but
Um,
I've been saying this since the beginning of our pod and for quite some time. But the Pistons got rid of the boy I said they should keep the minimum,
yeah.
keep the
Hmm.
minutes low. You could get some, he's very replaceable. And I know you mentioned they might try to, but like, ooh, it happened. And I think we got some good assets for him. Jade, and we're talking about Jaden Ivey here. There was the Jaden Ivey for Kevin Herter, and I think we got someone else with that, right?
Dario Saric, yeah, and they're gonna swap the pick this year. So if Minnesota's pick is whatever 22 and the Pistons pick is 27, we're just gonna flip those. So it's not gonna be anything huge. I mean, it actually might be nothing. There's a chance the Pistons lose in the first round, and Minnesota makes conference finals, and we're actually in front of them, so it could be nothing. But yeah, it's more of I think that was the Pistons telling us that they weren't going to re-sign Jaden Ivey. He was in the last year of his contract. He would have been a restricted free agent. We could have brought him back if the number made sense. He ends up with the Bulls, I think, which they ended up adding a lot of guards, which it's not even like we sent him to a
That's a
place where
perfect
he's
team
gonna.
for all those guards. Just, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, maybe we'll save that one for another day. So, but what I did say in the last episode was that it got to the point where I didn't believe that Jaden Ivey was in the playoff rotation.
Mhm.
So the Pistons just, after this trade, within I think it was yesterday, they signed Dennis Jenkins to an official contract. So he was on a two-way for a
Okay.
while, which is the one where they can essentially send you back and forth between the G League and the pros. There's I think they get two of those. Each team does, where you can kind of toss them back and forth. And he had not been tossed back and forth. He was up. I think you only get like 50 games or something like that. So which which is impressive when a guy gets to 50 games on a two-way contract. That means they never sent you down, essentially. And so yeah, he was the guard. He is the guard off the bench if the playoffs started tomorrow. It's like I said, it's Isaiah Stewart, Ron Holland, and Jenkins coming off the bench, and Ivy just wasn't going to be in the rotation. And if you're not going to re-sign him, then what? I mean, you got to trade him. It's at that point now where you can't really waste assets anymore. And it's not like we didn't. I wouldn't say we got a lot for him. If somebody gets hurt, maybe Kevin Herter hops in the playoff rotation. Like he would be the if Duncan Robinson pulls a hamstring or something. Like he's pretty much a one-to-one replacement. Like you're probably giving him almost all of Duncan's minutes at that point. And if one of the other guards goes down, he's going to give you some good minutes. I don't know if he'll be in the playoff rotation or not, but yeah,
I
too
think he was
bad.
a
End
big
of the Ivy
upgrade, though.
story.
I think he was a big
Maybe.
upgrade.
Well, all right. We'll see.
I
We'll
like what
see.
Kevin did back in Atlanta. Back in his Atlanta days, he was able to put up, 18 to 20 when he needed to, just chill and shoot. And he's got a nice clip too. But he's the biggest difference between him and Ivy, I think, is he just has the length and he doesn't need the ball as much. And he's not in like no man's land. He knows his role, which Ivy I felt like was still figuring out his role, and he felt like he had to do too much for the team. And I think that's where
Yeah.
that I was like, just keep him at bay, give him less than 20 minutes. But Herter, like if someone gets hurt, you can give him 20, 25, 30 minutes, and he'll be a decent replacement. For like you said, someone like Duncan. He doesn't have the
Oh
same
yeah.
clip, but he'll do it. He'll do it.
No, and he shoots confidently. I
Hmm.
mean, there's just not a lot of guys on our team that shoot confidently. Is the sad truth. But yeah, no, I mean, I had said all along, I might have wavered that last episode. I tried to get Josh to scrub it when I said that I was, maybe Michael Porter Jr., maybe. I think I said I was opening to the idea of it. But my initial gut instinct was I didn't want it. And just less on that I didn't want Michael Porter Jr., more just none of these trades really made sense for where the Pistons were at. Let's just see what we got this year. I mean, they're already first in the East. Nobody is scary at all. We just blew out the Knicks. I know Cat didn't play on Friday night, and it was coming off a loss to the Wizards, who we just got into talking about too, the Pistons over the last two games we played. But the Pistons just blew out the Knicks Friday night. I think I had mentioned to you on a previous episode too that the Pistons just feel very confident versus the Knicks, and they really want the Knicks in the playoffs, and that would be fun. So I did the Knicks is probably going to be in the second round now because I don't even think they're going to be a 2 or 3 seed in the playoffs. The way Boston and Cleveland, who upgraded, added James Harden, has been playing. Um, so Pistons, I whatever, I like it. I'll say I like where we're at. Um, there was really no need to push the gas. Let's save the picks. Let's save it all. If we make we could make the finals this year. We're probably not going to win it. The West obviously has 3 teams that are substantially better than us. It would take, a little bit of luck. You might end up being like the Patriots team we just watched now, where like you kind of get a little bit of an easy path there, and then you get there, and then bam, you hit a little bit of a juggernaut. But still, that's a successful season. I mean, I think all Patriots fans are going to be pissed off tonight, and then they're going to come back tomorrow like, we're all right. Let's go. Let's do it again
Got
because
next year.
they're young. And, yeah, right. And so I'm excited for the Pistons the rest of the way. Still, we're going to be hitting them hard.
And we're young, so
And
we got time, and we're still developing. And honestly, we've had such a drought. Just get to the playoffs, and I'm happy enough as it is too.
it's one of those where you just got to win one. We are getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Like we haven't won a playoff series in a
In a
long time.
long
Like
time.
I went to those last 2 playoff series where Giannis was just blowing us off the court, and then yeah, I mean with Blake Griffin, whatever that was. I mean that was my God. I mean that was like 8, 10 years. I mean it's been we should have the date in front of us, but I mean I think it's one of the longer droughts and how long it's been since a team's won a playoff series. It's not good. So to your point, you're right. We kind of do just need to win a playoff series first, and then I can talk about going to the finals later. But and it's not like it's a failed season if the Pistons don't make the finals this year. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You win a playoff series and you're competitive in the second one, you might be able to get away with that being a. But at the same time, we are probably at the point where like conference finals is kind of what I think Pistons fans would say is what we want. Like
Yeah.
that's
When you're the first
probably
seed, I mean, that's kind of the
that's what I
expectation, right?
mean. Like,
It's
what do
hard to
you
argue
like?
that.
It's right, right? I mean, what are you supposed to do?
But
Oh,
we
but
can't
the
talk about the trade deadline without saying the winners of this trade deadline was 100% the Oklahoma City Thunder.
well, I mean, like I just said, they got better, but you're just saying because they got better and was the only team that got better.
I mean, you get last year's potential rookie of the year outside of a setback injury, and
Yeah, with
you're all
McCain, with Jared McCain.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
sure.
get Jared McCain what for a handful of picks where you still have plenty of picks left. Like
It's one of
you
those
didn't really lose
situations where they
anything.
can't. You have to spend the money because they don't have roster spots. Like they have more picks than they have roster
Yeah,
spots. So it's one of those where you have to like. So it makes perfect sense. Yeah, Presti's smart as heck. I
yeah,
mean,
and
they
they
got
got a
one of the best GMs
stud.
in the league.
They're already good, so I don't know. I'm just like,
Yeah, so
really,
I would
really, you
agree
just
with
had to,
you.
you just gave McCain away like just like that. I don't know. I feel like at least ask for like somebody on that team, AJ Mitchell or something, something. Just take someone off that roster to make them a little less, competitive. But all right,
That's you named it's funny you named the name too. That's the AJ Mitchell's the name. Like that would have been the one. I'm sure Maury was asking for him.
yeah, right.
That's literally that is the name. Yeah, so you nailed it with that one. And no, they kept him.
Yeah.
And they got McCain too. And like I said, that was the only current playoff team that traded a first round pick at the deadline. So Cleveland got better. I shouldn't say well maybe you don't think Cleveland got better. But they did not trade a first round pick, so that's how that stat works. Real quick, I mean I I will say I'm probably more of a James Harden fan than your average person, and fan might not be the right word. I probably respect James Harden's game maybe a little bit more than your average NBA fan. Um, but what do you think? I mean, Harden got anything left?
I mean, you could tell that what he was doing with Kawhi and the Clippers, it's not like he's, lost anything crazy. And he's never played like a fast paced game. So as long as he can put up like 20 with, and he draws a lot of contact while he's driving with his slow motion, he scoops under or scoops over the top, gets a couple reach and fouls in there. So I don't know. But I would say it's just, he's always just a question mark on defense, right? And I feel like that team was kind of known for having somewhat of a defensive presence. Uh, I mean,
Yeah,
they got rid of
a little bit.
Garland, who's like a smaller presence, but I mean, he was still young and could move, and he was like agile, right? So
So,
I don't
yeah,
know. You're like upgrading like a surefire 20 points for like I don't know.
there's there's been stats in the past where like James Harden just because he's big, like he's okay in post defense, like if a big guard try like say like this is actually a pretty good example. So say Cade was trying to post him up
Mhm.
in the playoffs, like maybe sometimes Harden can hold his own versus a big guard in the post trying to get posted up just because he does have a little size to him. And Garland is not. So Garland would be an absolute liability. He has been an absolute
Yeah.
liability on defense for Cleveland, and so it's not. And I mean, I'm saying all this, and James Harden is an absolute liability on defense as well. Like this is
Like it
not
always
a
comes down
defensive
to if he
upgrade.
wants to play defense, right? Like I'm sure they're all athletes. It's not like they can't play defense. It's just do they want to and do they know, when to kick their, their next gear in. But I don't know. I mean, we've seen it in the past. He's had defensive lapses all the time. Um, sure you can go through YouTube for compilations of his defense lack of defense, just like you could with Luca or anybody else. So I mean, as much as you get
He's
on
got a good
offense,
one.
yeah, as much as you get on offense, you're probably gonna lose on defense. I don't know. For a team that kind of had that defensive edge to them, you might lose a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So that was in. There wasn't really any other huge upgrades. On good teams. Like I said, all the all the trades happen with the bad teams, which is
Yeah.
funny. It's not usually what happens. And Giannis didn't get traded, so it took a little bit of the wind out of the sails of the whole thing, which I never thought he was going to get traded. It didn't make any sense. All these teams have more to offer in the summer. Like I think everybody that has gets deep into the what draft picks teams have available and what cap space teams have available. If you looked at it, everybody has more to offer in the summer. So unless Giannis like put his foot down, like I've been saying, and demanded that he wanted out, it probably wasn't going to happen. So makes sense. Um, yeah, makes sense.
But I know your boy. So we're gonna switch a little gears here, because I know your boy Skubal. Last time we
Skubal
talked,
Saga.
yeah, you wanted him to get paid. Essentially, that was like the gist of it. And to my research, it looked like he did get paid. But I know you got some hot takes here, and you wanted to get some things out. So let's
Oh,
hear it.
oh, so Josh, yeah, we got Skubal Saga Part 2 here. Okay, so we'll start with that part. We'll start with Skubal himself. No, so I said this at Skubal Saga Part 1. I don't think the arbitration battle really mattered that much. It obviously mattered to Skubal because he was either going to get 19 million or he was going to get 32 million, and there was not like an in between. So he's either going to get one or he's going to get the other. So obviously the player wants the more money, but that doesn't really matter as far as the Detroit signing him long term. That just had to be done in the court system. Like he's got a lawyer that does that. I don't think there was any hard feelings whether if he was only going to get paid 19 million this year. It was like obviously there might have been a little hard feelings because he wants more money, but that really didn't play into him getting a long term contract. Now, the news that people are going to look at and think maybe that is playing into Skubal getting a long-term contract is the Tigers did make a giant signing in the past week. They signed Framber Valdez, Houston Astros, to a 3-year, $115 million contract. So about 38 million a year, 38, 39 million a year. Um, Pretty big contract for a pitcher. Now, the number one question is going to be does like what does that mean for Skubal? So so the Tigers didn't give Skubal a giant contract, but they gave another guy a giant contract. Now you look at the reports from like the top baseball reporters, Jeff Passan has his report and he says if the Tigers keep Skubal, they have one of the best rotations in baseball. So it makes perfect sense for the Tigers to pay Valdez and also give Skubal a giant contract. So I don't think that this means that we are not going to pay Skubal, but also you look at all the reporting and it's not a for sure thing that people look at this and say, well, we are just loading up to make a real honest run at this thing, which there's no reason we shouldn't be loading up to make a real honest run at this thing. If you sign Skubal to a long-term contract, well, whether you do, whether you don't, going into this year, we do have one of the best rotations in baseball. We didn't add a bat this summer, but you have two of the best prospects in baseball coming up. So they have the number one, number two prospect in baseball, and wherever you look online at whatever ranking system you look at, and Kevin McGonagall, who is probably going to be the shortstop of the future. He might move to second or third, or probably not. Hopefully not first. Hopefully we keep him in the middle infielder on third. Um, and then they also have Max Clark, who's like 6, 7, or 8 on all these ranking systems as far as the prospects coming in, and they'll both. I think they're going to make the team this year. I don't think they're going to make it out of spring training, but I think they'll be on the team. And so it made a little sense probably not to throw a lot of money at a bat and keep the opportunities available for the young guys to come up on the lineup side. You might be able to get away with that. If it goes really south, you can probably make a trade for a bat at the deadline. All this being said, Tigers fans, if you're looking at the Framber Valdez signing and you want clarity on the Skubal situation, the sad truth is nobody knows, and it hasn't changed. We've gotten better, and there's probably a small fraction of people that are going to think, well, Mike, we just signed this guy, so the Tigers are probably going to let Skubal walk, and this is probably just a Skubal replacement. I'm refusing to believe that personally. I don't think that's what's happening. But I guess you could look at it that way. Um, but this is Skubal Saga Part 2, and I'm hoping, well, there's going to be a Part 3 because he's either going to leave or we're going to sign him or we're just going to go into the season and he's going to be on the final year of his contract. But nothing's changed. This sad truth is really, really, he's getting his 32 million in our, this year. But overall, nothing's changed.
Okay.
This is boring.
I
Sorry,
I
sorry, Josh.
I
It's
was
boring.
thinking it was gonna go a different direction, but okay. So it's basically what I'm hearing is nothing's changed. He just got a little bit extra money through the arbitration.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not going to get into it's so boring about how baseball does their contracts, but essentially he's on the last year of his rookie contract, and baseball like leaves it up to like a ridiculous system where like the Tigers will put in a number that they think he's worth, and he'll put in a number that he think he's worth within a certain range of numbers. Um, and I think he put in for a number that was eventually essentially higher than the range of numbers that has ever been said, which is fine, but which still isn't like, it's it's the end of your rookie contract usually puts you in a good spot. In the NBA, the guys are making 25, 30 at the end of their rookie deal or something like that. So it can make sense. Like he's going to make 32 million. We just signed this other pitcher to 38 million. I think throw the Otani contract out there. I think Garrett Cole and those guys are making between 40 and 50 million. So like and that's the contract Skubal wants to make. So like the next one he's going to make, he's going to get, I don't think it's going to be more than 50 million, but it'll be somewhere between 40 and 50 million a year for, anywhere between 4 to maybe 10 years. Um, but who knows? There's no reporter that knows. There's no local reporter that knows. I hope the owner and GM know something. I don't know. It's scary, man. When you got the whole the star of the franchise on the last year of his deal that's looking like he might walk. I don't know what to say. That's bad. That's bad management. Bad, bad, bad.
Well, I guess only time will tell for right now. But there's our Skubal Saga Part 2 update. Uh, and there's another sport going on right now, the Olympics. If people don't know because of the Super Bowl happening on the same weekend, the Olympics just
No,
kicked
that you
off
make
this
a good
past
point.
weekend.
You
Yeah,
make a good point. The Super Bowl did like overshadow like all of that. Like
yeah.
it did. I saw the Olympics were going on. I'm like, wait, what did I miss?
And it's on the same service too. Like you're on Peacock, you're gonna see ads for both, but obviously Super Bowl's gonna take that top page, and you probably didn't even notice there was an Olympics icon that just randomly appeared this weekend. Um, but man, I want to get into a lot, but I'm gonna just start with, please tell me you have heard about Penisgate.
So no, to be honest, no, I have
Okay,
not. So you're gonna have to
so there's the
educate.
Olympics competition for the
No, I take
ski
it back.
jumping, right? It's where they're
Yes.
going down and they're just basically flying off this ramp and just going as far as they can and to see who can land the farthest. There has been allegations, and I guess like there were formal complaints to the Olympic Committee to address a situation where people think that the male jumpers are putting hyaluronic acid into their penis to enlarge it before their suit measurement. So the whole point is that they want the largest suit possible, so they're making it not fit down there where their junk is, and so they have to get a size up. That way, when you're jumping off, you get extra wind drag, and you're like, you got like a little squirrel suit, and you're flying a little bit more, but just down where your private area is, right?
When you said penis gate, I didn't exactly get it, but once you started talking, so I saw the press conference with WADA, the drug agency or whatever, and I saw the reporter ask the questions to the guys, and I saw them kind of, giggle and be like, essentially, we've never heard of this. But the reporter, like you just did a good job at explaining essentially how this works. Actually, you did a better job than the reporter did. I didn't understand quite that, by having the larger Johnson, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
that would so I'm guessing once they get the larger suit, then they get that little extra padding down there, and so then just it's the aerodynamics is obviously what we're going for right now. That's a little bit better with the
Yeah, because I
with,
think overall, like the entire suit is a little bigger because it doesn't
oh,
fit down
okay.
there in that region very well, right? So it's like a size up type thing. Like you
Mm.
go from a small to a medium, medium to large. I mean, I don't know how big it can get, but I'm just saying, like, dang. But no, that
Oh.
just blew up on social media, and I even like was checking different news sources. I was like, okay, but it makes me feel a little bit better that WADA chimed in and was like, all right, we don't know what you're talking about, but that just was the best kickoff to an Olympic. Was I'm just reading through this, I'm like, penis gate, what is that?
I hadn't heard the name. I saw the press conference. The press conference is funny.
But yeah, there's that. And man, I don't know if have you been watching any of the sport? I know you said you watch like the speed skating
So,
one, but
so yeah, I noticed when, when I realized that the Olympics had kicked off, I quickly looked and make sure I hadn't missed short track street skating. And no, February 12th, so I got a couple days.
yeah,
Oh no,
okay,
the
okay.
10th and the 12th, so I got a couple days still on that. But no, the major story, that I saw, going into the Olympics was Lindsey Vonn is easily one of the most recognizable names. If you've won an Olympic gold in the past, there's not a lot of Olympic gold medalists that get to come back and do it again, especially somebody that's won a couple and competed in a couple Olympics. So she was easily one of the biggest names. And I don't know if you've heard the story. I'm sure you have that
Yep,
she was racing on a torn ACL.
yep.
And I ski, snowboard. Didn't make any sense to me. Like I get that you can kind of walk on a torn ACL. It's not like a broken leg where you're totally debilitated. But to me, it was one of those where it like and I also get like, leave it all on the hill, but at the same time, well, I mean, when burying the lead, she left it all on the hill.
Yeah.
If everybody watched yesterday, yeah, Lindsey Vonn came out of the gates and immediately looked like she was skiing on a torn ACL, and like it hit the second turn and like literally was facing the wrong direction as she was coming into the third. Like it was looked like they let an amateur go out there and just take a run at this. Like it looked like me a couple of beers in, like let's just go take a run at this Olympic
Easy
downhill
there.
race skiing. Hey, like no, but seriously, like it, like there was two, and it also gets to a point where I don't even want to do this, but like I'm sure there was somebody else that like could have made a run at this. Like why did we let her do this? Like
And
it didn't. Like I don't get it. I truly don't get it. She had a torn ACL,
uh, uh,
and I want to finish the story. She ends up being airlifted out of the hill with a broken leg because she obviously almost killed herself doing this.
and you know what? Like it's tough because I don't know. I get it, and I'm gonna you kind of bear the lead on this because she is actually nominated for Amy Poehler Flower of the Week this week.
Amy Poehler's Flowers of the Week.
And I just ripped her. This is the best. We've done so good with
I think
this.
this is
This is
why we
amazing.
work. But
This is
yes,
amazing.
I nominate her because I don't know. Obviously, at this point, it's not even negotiable. Women are just stronger than men. Like, because
Oh,
there was
absolutely.
that press conference with Stephon Diggs where they asked, like, you've torn your ACL. Like, what would you tell Lindsay? And he was just like, I got nothing for you. Like, you're just a beast. Like, I can't do it, but you're saying you can. So, like, all the power to you. And I don't know. It sucks right now. Because I'm going through and I'm seeing all the social media posts with like all these haters and they're coming at they're and they kind of said what you said where they don't understand because
Yeah.
like from a team perspective and from a country perspective, like why be selfish and take that spot when you know you're not at 100%. But if honestly, her at 80% is probably still just as good as some of these other athletes, first of all. And second of all, like I don't think some people just understand like all these athletes that get to that point, they've that was their lifelong dream and this is what they're doing and they don't know anything else. Like they want that last win. This is what they've dreamt for their whole life and then like I personally can't say I've had that, but like I kind of wish I did where like I fought for something so hard and I can get there, I'm going to compete, right? Like I kind of wish I had that for something. And she had that. So I don't blame her at all for wanting to take that last shot. And I mean, what is she, 11-time major championship medalist? Like she's had what 80,
Oh,
80
she's
some
one of the best
victories.
ever. Yeah,
So like
absolutely. Yeah.
it's hard to say, don't do it. Like I'm totally on her side, and I think she did what she could. She finished her prelims just fine. I think she had the 10th or 11th best time with her prelims, and
Did
she
she?
made that
All
look
right. All right.
effortless.
I didn't.
So
All
it's hard to
right.
knock her and be like, man, maybe someone else should have done it. When she showed that in the like if it was just the prelims, she still does all right, and
No,
it's just a freak
that's a
accident,
good
right?
point.
Because like if you
That
watch the
that's a
video,
good
like the
point.
pole just kind of hooks that thing a little too hard, the flag that she
I
crossed.
I would say if you watch the video, yes, I said what I said earlier and I
Yeah,
stand by it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
she comes out looking like she's gonna. die on the hill. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's gonna leave it all out there. Like she is gonna be fearless in this moment, to your point. Like, and she's gonna try to hit this hill like she doesn't have a torn ACL. Like she's gonna try to do the mental over physical. Like I'm gonna ski through this ACL, and she probably came out too aggressive because you need that bolt of adrenaline to get through whatever she was about to try to get through. Um, and yeah, so yeah, I mean, she nicks the pole on the first turn, and then it's just over.
To me, she just had that gladiator mentality where like
Oh,
you're either coming out of
absolutely.
this or you're not, and I'm just gonna put it all out there. And yeah, I thought she, she probably did
And
in her mind what she wanted to, regardless of if she failed or not, or if she finished or not.
oh,
I don't want to say
sure,
fail is the
sure.
word, but like regardless if she
Oh
finished it, she
no.
probably left it all out there and felt happy that
No,
she tried. So,
she left it all out there. That is for sure.
but
No, and so to your point about her at 80% real quick, and the next person, who would that be? I do just, I don't know skiing at all, and so you just go to what you know. Like if this was basketball, like to your point, if she is the star, go just replacing your star with somebody on the bench. It is, you probably do let your star play hurt before putting somebody on the bench in. So like to that point. Maybe, I would have to know the skier lineup a little better to know if like the next
true,
person
yeah,
up
yeah, there's that.
legitimately, because
We don't do
and
our
to
research clearly.
yeah, no, and but also but also what you just said matters. The fact that she was not like substantial last place in the qualifying, right? In the not in the prelim rounds, like in the practice rounds, like she was posting times that were not embarrassing, and so like whatever, I guess go for it. From a far view, it didn't make a lot of sense, and obviously with the result in hand, I can kind of go on my little rant and make my jokes. But
Always in hindsight,
yeah,
right? But it's the
yeah,
same thing to all
yeah.
the haters that were posting. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like if she won though, none of you, nobody would be saying anything other than her greatness, right? So it's just like
Oh,
it's a what if
sure.
situation, and it's just scary. But I just pray for her recovery and hope she's okay. But hey, my flowers of the week go to her this week.
No, and it does, and shout out. So, like I said, one of the best careers ever. So let's focus on that for before I ruin Amy Power Amy Poehler Flowers of the Week again. Like I've done almost every week. Um, yeah, one of the greatest skiers ever. So we can absolutely focus on that and not have to, like this is gonna be a half a chapter in a book about her career. You know what I mean? It's this
For
is this
sure.
is a very small piece of it. So, she, and maybe when it's all said and done, she'll be able to laugh and be like, "Yeah, I legitimately left it all out there." Because I do think that she's gonna be okay. Like I think it's a broken leg is what it's looking like, and yeah, she'll. I broke my leg. Like that sucks. Like that's not easy. But it's I think overall her long-term health, she's gonna be all right.
Yep. So just praying for her recovery. But all right, I want to get into something.
That's not okay.
There's something that I'm not okay with, and I think you've probably seen other parents at this point, plenty, and I wanted to get a take on what's your thoughts about like gentle parenting and just. I know last week we also talked about like just letting kids be on their iPad and stuff, but just what's your thoughts on like gentle parenting?
Man, so here's the thing. Our 4-year-old is tough, and I don't mean that in like in any type of way. She just I see other kids and other parents be like, "Oh, this kid's having a tough day." And I look at that kid, I'm like, "Oh my God, that's like, sometimes that could be my kid's best day." And especially in certain situations like, nighttime, I've alluded to, nighttime can be tough. So, man, a little bit of it is, do you even have to be tough with your kids? Like, especially at our kids are so young, that some kids are just naturally, they just want to listen to their parents and they just want to be good a little bit. We kind of have a little bit of two different, well, I shouldn't say that. They're both pretty strong personalities, but all that to say, man, we do our best to probably be more on the gentle side of parenting, but sometimes, man, like the 4-year-old's will, like you gotta bring your game if you're gonna like match this 4-year-old's will. Like she's freaking she's strong-willed, man. It's hard.
I hear you. I hear you. And I don't know. That goes into what I'm about to say here is that I know a lot of people think like social media and like technology and stuff have ruined kind of like kids' attention spans and like, their behaviors nowadays. But honestly, I don't even feel that way. I think it's just bad. I don't want to say bad parenting, but just like not as well how do I phrase this without, getting myself in a sticky
Oh,
wicket?
you're already in trouble. You're so deep in there, and I'm not tossing you any type of a vine right now. So try to dig
I'm
yourself
just
out
gonna
if you
call it
can.
I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. I think it's more just bad parenting and just relying on. I think there's so many different like teaching like kid raising strategies that have come up over time, and none of them are like actually proven to work. They're just like soft theories, and they're almost giving the kids too much reins. And the reason I kind of think this is I've seen some posts from like some Asian parents, and they're saying like they were asked if their kid like why don't you give your kid like more of a voice or a choice like at a certain age, and the parents responded that well at this age they're nothing but clay, and like they don't know what their like consequences are. They don't know decisions. They don't know anything. So like why would I give them the choice to do something when it's my job as a teacher and a parent to really guide them, right? So I think letting some kids get off and like trying to, wean them off of things or like do things, I think like it works in certain cases, but like I think some parents kind of take that to a step too far, and they over baby and nurture and don't kind of let their kids kind of stumble and fall and grow in like the way they need to. And I don't think we kind of like whip them into shape when they kind of get out of hand. And I'm not saying literally whip. I'm not saying like abuse them, obviously, but like I said last week with the lady that tossed the kid's iPad, like she meant it when she was putting the hammer down. Like if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna check it. I think that is just so beautiful, and I think that's kind of what needs to happen. And I see this in like a lot of kids these days, they're just a little too soft. And I think they need that
Yeah.
slightly tougher edge. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a hot take. I don't know but I don't think it's the fault of like them being on TV, them watching their phones, them looking at social media. I don't think it's that. I don't think the world
Oh
is
no.
forcing them to be a certain way. I think it's what's happening at home. So if you can't control that and you can't do it, then that's on you. I don't think it's necessarily like you should never let them have, go on YouTube. You should never let them do this. I mean, I let Joel watch stuff with me all the time, and I mean, he's doing just fine thus far. And I mean, not to say I can't change later, but like, I don't know. That's just my little take, my little rant. I think we're being a little
So
soft as parents sometimes.
yeah, I'm gonna try to distance myself from you a little bit just because I
You don't
I,
want to get in
I, I,
trouble.
tr I try not to judge parents, and yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to let the mass come at you. Um, I did. So when you were talking, I was thinking. Katie was watching Marcelo Hernandez, Saturday
Hmm.
Night Live guy. Have you ever, you know who
Yep,
that
yep.
is? So one of his stand-ups, and he's saying essentially what every first generation immigrant says, in like he's trying to tell his parent that he's depressed or that he's lonely, and his mom's like, "Oh yeah, I was lonely too when I was on the raft, taking our family from Cuba over to Florida. I was real lonely when I was doing that, and as I was, getting my first job and just trying to put all you guys through school, like, I was real. You're right. Yeah, like, I was depressed too. You're right." And it just, just like that mentality is it does tend to build a stronger individual, especially from a younger age. But I mean, like, but what are you gonna do? Like, the world is sadly like a little bit softer, probably than it's maybe not now. I don't know. We say all this, but this might all change. Really, I don't even know. But I won't get into that. But it just it just sadly the kids have it easier. Like it just kind of is what it is. And I don't know if you want to like find ways to make it difficult on your kid just to try to teach them lessons. Like that probably is maybe a way to do it. It can be hard, but yeah, I mean, it's almost, it can be easier sometimes as a parent to just take the easy way out and like, and then the next thing you know, you haven't really instilled any morals in the kid, and they talk back to every teacher that they have, and they don't respect authority at all, and it's hard to go back from that path. So yeah, man, I don't want to start judging parents. This is
Oh,
we
I
gotta
mean,
we're gonna change this not okay segment to Hoy knows all or something like that.
no, I mean, I'm not trying to make it seem like the whole concept is bad, but I think I what I see a lot of like gentle parenting do is they find faults in a lot of other things. And what my point is I think it's just how you manage it at home. Like not everything can be scary to let your kid, kind of have access to. I mean, and I'm saying this because my wife is very susceptible to like social media fear mongering and things like that. And like she doesn't want Joa to be on social media at all, right? Like period.
Sure.
Don't want
Mhm.
him ever on Instagram, don't want him to ever start on YouTube. Um don't want his own Facebook page or whatever it's gonna be when he turns, 15, 16. But
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're dreaming.
and that's what I'm saying. But also, like to me, the whole
Dreaming.
point is just it's more how you train them and teach them to adapt to those technologies. Like you already know, I'm a big advocate for AI. I would love Joa to start learning AI stuff, but also the things that could happen if you use it the wrong way or if you put something out there and you don't do your research or what I'm saying. So it's just teaching them when they get to the certain age, like when they're using these technologies, how do you properly
Yeah.
introduce them?
So I mean, now you're getting into like the age-old question, like, yeah, if you withhold everything from your kid, like, is that the way to do it? Or when they get a sniff of it, are they gonna go crazy for the first time? And like
Hmm.
maybe the way to do it is like to actually teach them what this is. And I'm not talking about like giving your kid a beer when they're 13 years old, like, but whatever it is, like, is it making, like literally there's no curse words ever, and like the kids don't get taught curse words, and like the first time they hear a curse word, it's like they literally don't know what that is. Or like, do you teach them the curse words? Essentially is kind of what we're talking about,
Yeah.
right? And like, do you tell them like this is what they mean, and you probably shouldn't use them, and if there was a reason to use them, this would be apparently when you would use them. I don't know if this is what your parenting technique was. I
That's what
don't not
mine
much of
will
a cursor,
be.
but I mean.
That's what mine will be.
So there, I mean, there you go. So I mean, that's kind of what you're getting into now, and
Hmm.
yeah, I think probably majority of your parenting books would say that there's probably a little bit of the you want to expose them to it a little bit, just a little bit. But like I said,
Hey,
this
I
is
said what I
Hoy
said.
know this segment is Hoy knows all now, and I want to distance myself from it tremendously.
Hey, you agreed with some of the takes already, so you're already in the mix. You're already in the mix.
I have to cut those.
Oh, but from here, I don't know if there's a clean way to get in this because I don't know if you necessarily know about this, but um, th- so this next topic kind of came up because I helped my manager out with his daughter and something she has, because I technically didn't know I had this until like after college, or actually during college when I first heard about it. But I don't think you guys know this about me. But let me start with this. When I ask you if you can see like a purple apple in your mind, right? Like clearly that's not a literal thing in life, right? Um,
Sure.
but do you like can you picture it? Like are you able to like see stuff in your head?
So you're asking me if I just close my eyes, like, can I picture a purple apple?
Yeah.
I think so. I got a white background. I mean, it looks a little bit like a plum. It's got like the little shine to it, that little square shine, that you would have an apple, and it's got
Okay.
the little stem on it. Yeah, I mean, I I think so. Like, I think I see it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't have that. I don't
Goodness.
I and I've said this to people, like I'm practically brain dead when I'm not talking because
Well,
I
I'm
just
not
find
laughing.
okay.
I probably shouldn't be
No,
laughing. I probably shouldn't be
so I
laughing.
mean, not that many people have this, but it's called aphantasia. It's where you don't have your
Oh,
mind's eye,
okay, that
or
was that
yeah,
word.
it's so
Okay.
you basically can't picture things in your head. Okay, so less than 10% have like a variation of it. Like you said, you can kind of see like a 2D, purple apple. There's people that can
Yeah.
see 3D. There's people that can see like just the outline of an apple, right? And so there's different extremes of it. But the full extreme aphantasia, like me, where you just see pitch black in your head, is less than 1% of the population, apparently. Um, not,
Well, yes, I'm looking at it now. So I see your yeah, I see the aphantasia 5 degrees.
yeah,
I
okay.
think I'm a two. I think I'm a two, somewhere between a two and a three, and you're saying you're a five.
Yeah, I'm either
Oh
5
my
or lower
goodness.
because I'm just like,
Oh no,
they're,
wait, there is no lower.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh no.
So there's like not any real imagery in my head, and that's one of the reasons I told my parents back in the day, like I don't like reading, I don't understand it because like I can't picture anything when I read.
Okay,
And
that's how you're reeling this in. Okay.
yeah, and so
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, and so it sucks,
Hmm.
but and so apparently my manager's daughter also had that, so I had to like talk him through like different ways I studied, and like because I the way my brain works is like I take everything just as pure logic and facts, right? So there's no imagery. So if I know that you and I did, I got in a car accident on my 21st birthday, whatever, and I finally made it to East Lansing and we went to go drink. That was it, right? But
Hmm.
I can't picture any of that. So it's like it's just a factual information stored in my brain. Whereas to other people, apparently, they can like visualize, oh, I got in this car crash. I did this, I did that.
Wait, I mean, are you trying to say that like you don't really have memories?
I don't have visual memories. No.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah. And so that's a thing. And you know what's crazy though? Which I didn't know that these other word terms were even a thing. So now let me ask you this. Can you talk to yourself in your mind? Like basically like an inner monologue where you're like
Uh,
talking through situations or things like that.
A gajillion percent yes.
Yes. Okay. So I
Oh yeah,
have
absolutely.
what we call Anendophasia, which is the
Okay,
lack
so
of
that's
inner
the other
monologue.
word.
Okay.
So we have hold on. We have aphantasia
Mm-hmm.
and we have say that last one again.
Anendophasia.
And endophagia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the one where you don't have an inner monologue and you basically aren't talking in your head, right? So you're
Yeah.
not
So I
thinking,
see where you get you get you brain I see where you ended up on brain dead.
right? That's what I'm saying. So I have both those. So I guess less than 5 to 10% of people have that, right? And I have both. And on top of that, I have Anauralia, which is the lack of like inner hearing. So I guess when you have dreams, you can also hear people talk. Is that a thing? Like when you have a dream, you can like
Um
hear another person in your dream talking to you.
ooh, I yeah.
Or say for
I
instance, like
mean,
if I say the word dog, like a dog barking, can you in your mind picture and hear that dog barking? Like you can tell what it sounds like.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't have it, but I do.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's funny you said the dream thing though. There was a study that I think you smoke a lot of pot and you lose the ability to dream. So maybe haven't had as many dreams.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say yes or no to me being in that same
Oh,
boat,
that's
but
funny. Oh, that's
um,
funny.
no, I mean like this was even before like high school and like middle school and stuff. Like I don't recall having dreams. So like I remember waking up and feeling a type of way, right? Like I feel like I might have had a dream, but I don't know. I can't picture it. I don't remember it. I don't hear it. I don't see it. I can't tell you what I dreamt. I just know I woke up and I felt the type of way, which is like
Yeah, no,
weird.
I get that. I get that a little bit. I might not remember the dream, but like I probably know a little more than that. Like yeah, like even on my like if you don't, you can't like exactly remember what happened. It's more than a feeling,
Mhm.
I guess. Yeah, I'm not to that. No, I'm not relating to anything you've said at these last giant A words here.
But I'm not just bringing this up randomly. I guess I want to bring this up not to just like promote awareness for it because apparently it's a thing. I talked to my parents recently about it. They had no idea I had it, and like I said, my manager's daughter had it, and just to say, like Joa could have it, your kids could have it, anyone technically could have it. It's a small percentage, but that doesn't mean someone can't have it. But just like ways I've like learned to like remember things. Which I kind of told my manager about, and I think they kind of went that route to like have their daughter start studying that way because she doesn't like reading either because she can't picture things. But yeah, I mean, like for me, like I had to find, like for me it was music. I had to find ways that like I could trick my brain into remembering stuff. Like like I love singing and I love like remembering lyrics and things like that. So I trick my brain into like that kind of environment. And when I do read or like I'm looking at stuff online, like I try to find like visual representations of things so I can like kind of actually picture, since my mind isn't picturing it, I can actually see that and like try to incorporate it. So little tips and tricks for anyone out there that might have kids that have something along these lines.
Now I'm trying to think back about you in like tendencies, and yeah, you probably always were doing something, and so that is probably maybe a little bit to do with that, where like you can't just sit there and let your brain do the
Well,
work.
because I'd
Like
be
you're
dead.
actually
Like
that's what I mean. You're like you were always bopping and singing and people and so that kind of just play. Hey, well, it turned into a good personality. You twisted it into a good personality trait actually. So, but it's funny. Yeah, I mean not funny, but it's very very interesting for you to say that. I mean these are yeah. I mean just hitting me like this. I mean looking at these things like these are yeah things that you would assume everybody can do for sure.
and what's
Um,
crazy is
yeah,
I was talking to my wife about it and I was like, what's crazy is I actually think it's crazy that you guys can do it. Like, because my whole life I'm thinking this is
sure,
the norm. Like, this is the norm. Like, nobody sees nothing in their head. Nobody talks in their head.
sure.
And then I met Laura and she was like, yeah, this is like when I read this, like, you don't see what I'm seeing. I'm like, well, one, I'm not in your head, but two, like, no, I don't. I just you read me this text in this book, some beautiful bridge leading to a castle. I'm like, okay, cool. Those are words. All right, what do you want me to do with that
Yeah,
now? But yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy
yeah.
that like it's kind of like the sit and stand to wipe your butt thing. Like the people that stand don't know that some people sit to wipe. You know what I'm saying? It's similar to that situation.
Yes, I have heard somebody make a similar. I didn't see that one coming.
But yep.
Uh,
But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. A little PSA for everybody out there that this does exist and people do have it. And yeah, make of that what you will.
yeah. And that's, I mean, just eh, that's just probably the internet in a good way, right? Just pe bringing people together, like bringing groups together, kind of like you're saying. Like it just takes two people being like, I assumed everybody could do this, and like, oh, you can't do this, I can't do this either. Yeah, because I mean that's hard, because that's a hard one. Exactly like you're saying. Like you would just assume that's how everybody is. Like I imagine the first person that realized that they were colorblind and couldn't see colors was like, what? Like you guys are effing with me right now? Like you kidding me?
There's not just a million shades of black and white. Like
But that's pretty much what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like
no,
that's
yeah, I mean
very similar to what
they're
you're
both
saying. Yeah.
disorders in the way that like I mean, yeah, it doesn't like impede like in terms of color blindness. Obviously blindness is a
Sure.
disability, but um
Yeah.
yeah, and like it doesn't necessarily impede my life. It's just a different way that I have to adapt and different way I have to like think and do things. So yeah, that's nothing bad to say,
That's,
just
no. That's
yeah,
interesting as
something
heck.
something to be aware of.
Man,
But yeah,
you
think
think you
that's
know somebody, right?
right.
Uh,
But I think that's it for our episode today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Once again, that's Mike. I'm Hoy, and thanks for listening to the Disgruntled Losers podcast.
have a good one.
Woo.
Sweet. Gravitate, gravitate to the rhythm.